And this TED Talk brought to you by the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum sits on a high hill with sweeping views of the surrounding mountains, valleys, and the Pacific Ocean. The library is one of California's beautiful and, unique destinations. The library's 300-acre site stands in for the shining city on a hill, often referenced by President Reagan, and serves as the final resting place of the nation's 40th president and his wife, First Lady Nancy Reagan. We introduce a series bringing together the great minds and thinkers of our modern era. Today's guest lecturing host, Mr. Don Window, Chairman Emeritus of the legendary venture capital firm Virus Ventures, funders of some of the great companies on the planet. He is also chairman of the board of Cardinal X, builder of the new Martian colony we've all been hearing about. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Don Window.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're too kind. All right, so people, how did this happen? How did we end up able to build, bubble condominiums on Mars? How? I'm asking tonight of all of you to answer the question, what force drove us here? What brought this momentous time in human history? Was it the very modern Biden era? Was it cancel culture? Was it vilification of successful people on social media? We will someday likely have millions of human beings on Mars, and who will we blame for that interplanetary transgression? I nominate the evil rich. Anyone with enough money to invest in crazy things like, colonizing Mars? Yeah. Don't they have too much money? Too much capital at their disposal? Too able to take risky bets with the marginal fractions of their wealth, right? Everyone should hate them. Hate the rich, right? Well, no, this isn't a ballad from the Eagles. But ladies and gentlemen, don't you think we should punish the smart, punish the hardworking, punish the talented, and most important, punish the lucky? Yeah. Oh, wait. No, just the opposite. Despite the rhetoric of, some politicians, the truth is that the world was moved from, looking like this to this. Because of people like this. Well, who are they? They're the people who innovate. They create jobs for others. They export American goods overseas. And yes, they pay taxes. Lots of them. Maybe too many of them. Yeah. But they're the drivers who make America great. So this lecture tonight, this discussion really, is brought to you by the Reagan Foundation. And thank you, gang. Truly appreciated. Our values align. All right, this conversation is really about fortune. What makes it, how it's used, how it becomes the core of great, wealthy, powerful nations who are fearless and curious. And yes, as you will recall from the slogan, oh so popular in the great Roman Empire, fortune does in fact favor the bold. In about a week, the first human beings will have landed on Mars, and we have a kind of planetary blank slate, tabula rasa a la Mars, if you will. It's a place to, start over, to start fresh. New planet, new laws, new economy, new everything. Remind you of anything? Yeah, these things. So, ladies and gentlemen, I go back to the question, how did we get here? And yes, it was not that different from the world of the Pilgrims desperately leaving England in the 17th century. And yes, there were lots of reasons they left. But they were, in essence, funded by venture capitalists. Yeah, who made one massive mistake. They forgot about incentives. Or rather, they forgot to apply good incentives to make the Pilgrims find valuable furs and minerals and gold and whatever else they could then monetize back on the continent, that's here, instead of granting stock options and equity and big bonuses, meaning ownership in the project's success. that would have been life-changing to the Pilgrims, the venture capitalists in England, the funders of Christopher Columbus and his gang, well, more or less funded the Pilgrims with debt. Yeah, they were granted loans that paid for a one-way ticket, some modest living condition assistance, and not a ton more. So about 150 years later, they ended up doing this. Rather than this. And yes, you have to wonder, had England shared a lot more of the notional wealth in America, would there not have even been a revolution and the Brits would still own us? Yeah, bad fumble on their part regardless. They had the ball and they dropped it. Their strength as they colonized America was, ambiguous. There was enormous bloodshed, no obvious winner early on, so both sides paid tremendous prices. And eventually we found peace, by being strong. Yeah,